Oh, I wanna be the one to hold you close, 'cause you're the only one I'm dreaming of. My love, my love, my love, my love.
I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Look,
What?
it was rough today a little bit.
It was. It was.
Getting ready, I felt like I was getting ready for a prom. I'm all sweating and all that. But hey, what's up, everybody? For those that are new to us, my name is Steve,
And I am Toria.
and we want to welcome you all to Date Night. Awesome.
Woo!
Tell them a little bit about Date Night, honey.
So Date Night is a platform that we created for us to just hang out, to laugh, to talk, to share with one another about, relationship issues,
Yes.
or just to talk about different things that are going on in the world, to talk about life, love, and happiness.
Right.
And we thought, why not do it with everybody else that we love, which is all of you guys. So
Yeah, absolutely.
we created this platform to do just that.
Just
It is
that.
also meant to be fun yet informative.
Yes.
So invite your friends, invite your loved ones, tell them all to join the
Share.
party.
They might as well share now. And we're talking about why do we keep getting what we're getting. Has anybody ever heard of the law of attraction? If you have, put yes. The law of attraction. If you ever heard of that, put yes in the comment section. And I want to just kind of talk about it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the law of attraction explain. It pretty much says this, that people are magnets and that our thoughts are things, and we attract certain things into our lives based upon our thoughts. And that's partially true because our thoughts or our belief systems actually do determine our actions.
Yes.
And our actions determine our outcomes.
Absolutely.
And so a lot of times it's the decisions that we make or that we don't make that actually produce the thoughts or bring the things into our lives. And even if you read the good book talks about what a man thinks in his heart, so is he.
Yes.
And the heart, that's actually the subconscious mind, what they're talking about there. So we have thoughts that aren't conscious, but we have things inside of our hearts. We have perspectives, we have values, we have standards, principles, or just thoughts that are in our subconscious, and they manifest. Our inner world actually is our outer world is a reflection of our inner world.
Yes.
So our
That's
thoughts
good,
are
yes.
actually things. And I think it was Henry Ford. He said, if you think that you can or you can't, you're right.
Right. You're right. Mhm.
So, and there's a law that's called the law of belief. And it is true. If you believe a certain way, most likely God, like people say, the universe, that thing would actually is magnetic. So we have to really, work on our thoughts. Because our thoughts do determine our steps and our decisions and our behaviors. And our behaviors actually shapes our characters. And we create these habits. And habits are like cycles.
Yeah.
They're patterns. And a lot of times we make decisions or have thoughts that cause us to be in relationships that goes round and round and round.
Yep.
Yeah, but and one thing that I've noticed about not a lot of men, but a lot of people, a lot of times we are victims. We are victims. We try to be the best us that we could be. We try to give our love to people. We try to,
People in general, or you
People
said
in
men?
general.
Okay.
People
Okay.
in
I wanted
general.
to be clear because I thought you said men. Okay. So I
yeah,
want to be, okay.
people in general, we try to give. We're good people. We put ourselves out there to find ourselves
Absolutely.
being disappointed.
Absolutely.
But I've heard a lot of women, say that they're a victim, and they are victims. However, are you a victim based on your beliefs or your actions?
Ooh.
Are you attracting certain things in your world? Is it self-inflicted pain based on your decision or your choices in men? So we got to ask ourselves that, right?
Right.
So that brings me back to the question, why do we keep getting what we're getting? So, babe, why do we keep getting? Why do we keep, in regards to relationships, why do we keep getting what we're getting?
I think sometimes we get what we get because, like you said, it's the law of attraction, and we attract certain things to ourselves based on where we are and what position we are in life, right? I also think that sometimes we get what we get because when we get something, we get stuck in the realm of infatuation.
Well, infatuation. Look, if you know anybody that deals with infatuation, it might be you. I ain't trying to embarrass you. Don't put it in there, but infatuation is a real thing, right?
It definitely is
Right.
a real thing. And because we get stuck in the realm of infatuation, we experience a great euphoria. That's
Yeah.
just true, right?
Absolutely.
It's just a thing. We all know it, right? We experience a great euphoria. And when we're in that euphoria stage or that infatuation stage, we kind of have like tunnel vision.
Right.
So we negate all of the red flags that pop up
Right,
in our way.
right.
You know, we don't pay attention to certain things, you know,
because we're infatuated.
we're infatuated. And infatuation is a stage that is just, it purely makes us feel good.
Right. Right.
And who doesn't want to feel good?
Right. And actually, infatuation is an intense but short-lived passion
Oh.
for another person. So it's actually a passion that's not sustainable.
Wow.
It isn't real. It's just in the moment.
It's just
you
the
know,
moment,
and
right.
when those chemicals are released, you know, when we have a perceptional idea about something that we want or something that fascinates us, we become infatuated, right?
Absolutely. I
Right.
definitely
and that could
believe
be
so.
a dangerous thing, right?
It can definitely be a dangerous thing. Infatuation is definitely not a stage that we would want to stay in or even want to start in, right?
Right.
Because if you take your time, you will never really truly become infatuated
Right.
with somebody. But we become infatuated because we might be vulnerable.
And lonely because loneliness is one of the major causes of
That is.
infatuation,
That's
right?
so true.
And it can be very dangerous because when we're lonely, you know, we want somebody, you know,
Yep.
and there are a lot of variables to why we feel lonely. And a lot of it is more personal. It's more of an inner game. You know, it's just like we feel like we got to have somebody, but you don't have to have anybody.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times we don't focus on ourselves as individuals and we feel like we got to get somebody to complete us.
Right.
That's a
and
lie,
You,
right?
And you know what happens when we do that as well? Like we start to settle for like the Mr. Right Now.
Right.
You know
Not
what I'm
Mr.
saying?
Right, Mr. Right now, right?
Yeah, we start to
Yeah.
settle for Mr. Right
Or
Now.
Mrs. Right Now.
Or Mrs. Right
Yes.
Now, you know. But I'm only speaking from the woman's perspective. But a lot of times we do. We settle for the Mr. Right Now or the Mrs. Right Now. But the problem is with that, because we're in the infatuation stage, that Mr. Right Now doesn't come with commitment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't
Right.
come with friendship.
Right.
He doesn't come with love or, you know, a relationship.
Yeah.
He only comes with the intense or immense sense of euphoria because
Absolutely.
we have somebody in the moment.
Absolutely. And Crystal said a lot of times we are who we attract.
We are.
Absolutely.
We
And
are.
Shamir got a comment here. She says, we don't do a self-examination on ourselves before we go into a relationship. Absolutely not.
Yep.
Because we rush, you know, and there's a lot of, and we can go so deep into this because a lot of it is it's an inner game.
Yep.
You know, especially with women because there's a shortage of men, you know, and when that loneliness arises, it can cause you to be desperate, right?
can.
And if you think about infatuation, when people are infatuated with somebody, it releases a neurotransmitter or a chemical that's called dopamine.
Yes.
And the dopamine plays a role in how we feel. Yeah, dopamine is what they call, it's a chemical messenger. So when you see somebody and you're infatuated with somebody, it's like, ooh, I want more of that.
That's like
Ooh, I want more of
that
that.
bad boy, right? That
Yes.
bad boy that you're attracted to. And it's like your brain is sending off that
Yeah.
signal of dopamine
Yeah.
because it's immense pleasure to you.
it
It's
is.
like, oh, that's gonna be
And
pleasurable
everybody
to
want
me.
pleasure.
Everybody
Right.
does. There's nothing
Everybody
wrong with it,
want it.
right? It's like
Yeah.
wanting a slice of cake. I get the same dopamine when I want a slice of chocolate cake.
Yeah.
You know, it releases like intense or immense pleasure.
Right.
Like, and so those chemical reactions go off in our body that causes us to feel that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we got to find ourselves, we got to make sure that we don't become desperate so that those, what's the word? The feeling or the chemical that is released in dopamine doesn't take over because we only are getting the pleasure from it.
Right. And we are people of pleasure. You know, we ain't going to sit here and be naive as if
Oh, yeah.
we've never had been in a state of infatuation because I'm infatuated with you, girl.
Shut up.
You better be glad, girl, you married me. Well, I married you. No, but all of us, and disclaimer, none of us are exempt from infatuation.
Absolutely.
You know, because infatuation is motivated or stimulated by emotions or by chemicals. So we have to learn how to get our emotions in control. You know, and that's one of the we lack self-control.
Yeah.
You know, because if we had self-control, a lot of us would have gotten our degree. A lot of us probably wouldn't have got into bed with that person.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us would have built that business, started that
would
nonprofit.
lose weight.
Would lose weight.
Or
So
keep it off when you do lose
absolutely.
weight.
If you loving this, give us some hearts. Now, if you're loving this, give us some hearts if you believe it.
I think that's
Yes.
I think that's just a great point. Like things are pleasurable.
Yeah, yeah.
And the infatuation stage, the euphoria of the infatuation stage is pleasurable.
It is. It is.
And a lot of times we get caught in that, and that's one of the main reasons why we continue to get what we get, because we never move past that infatuation stage. We
Right.
get stuck there.
Yeah.
And then that person, they're gone, and then we move on to the next person, and we're in another infatuation stage.
Right.
The terrible thing about the infatuation stage is you always want to believe that person is right or right for you,
Right.
regardless of what the evidence proves.
Right.
Right.
Right. So infatuation is really a blinder to reality. Right. And
Yeah.
a lot of times infatuation is really it's unconscious vanity a lot of times.
Yeah.
And we are infatuated by physical appearance.
We are.
We're infatuated with power.
We are.
Even little things like humor,
Yep.
intellect, material things, but those things aren't sustainable. And unfortunately, infatuation will lead us into the arms of disappointment, into the arms of regret.
Yeah.
So it's important, especially some of y'all grown folks, if you on here and you 50 and 40, come on, we're gonna have to wake up.
Right.
You know
and
what I'm
stop
saying?
making
Yeah.
irrational, choices, and stop
Yes.
making irrational decisions,
Right.
especially when the evidence is there to say, hey, this person really isn't right for you, or this person really isn't the ideal candidate for you. We just got to start thinking more rationally, more logically, and paying attention to the signs when they come up. Sometimes it's such a blinder, or infatuation is such a blinder, where you can have a really good girlfriend or a really good friend or family member trying to tell you something about that person that they may have either witnessed themselves, seen online,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, or somebody told them. And they find out all the facts about it, and then they bring it to you. And because you are so caught up in infatuation,
In physical attraction,
You
promise,
know.
not to my satisfaction.
listen, you will be like, no, that ain't them, because they perfect. In your
right.
mind, they're perfect because they're
Right.
perfect for you at that moment, because you're right now with Mr. Right Now.
Right.
You know
And
what I'm
those
saying?
chemicals, that message, remember, dopamine is a chemical messenger. It says, this is good.
This is good.
I want more of
Yeah,
this. I
this
want
is
more of this.
pleasurable.
So you're irrational in your thinking because you're infatuated because of maybe looks, maybe a big booty, maybe money, maybe he looks good, maybe he's a person of power, maybe he's just funny as heck, maybe he's smart. Ooh, I just like the way he dresses. And it's crazy because that'll bring us to our the next thing is infatuation is deepened by intimacy.
Ooh.
So the second reason why a lot of people, man,
Yeah.
keep getting the same thing, and I think we're all kind of guilty to a
Yeah.
point, is because we become intimate too
Ooh, we become intimate
soon.
way
Man, I
too
know you want
soon.
some. I know you
Way
like
too
sex.
soon,
I
right?
know all of us like to get down. All of us do, right?
Yes, and here's the thing: we become intimate way too soon, and when we do, those blinders are on. It's like
it deepens. Sexual intercourse deepens infatuation.
It
It puts
does.
the roots in infatuation.
oh, it
right?
does. It absolutely does, because sex changes things. It changes something in you. It changes something in your mind. It blocks something in your mind that blocks all rationale, that
Yeah,
blocks
ooh-wee.
all logic, that blocks all evidence, that
Absolutely.
blocks all truth.
Yes.
Even if you feeling some type of way and you know how you feeling is valid,
Right.
and you seen him or seen her behave a certain way,
But
when you start
that booty big though. You see
Listen.
how thick she is?
you start to have sex with
She
somebody,
a fool though.
all of those things go out the window.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
every single one of those things go out of the window because now you're physically connected to that person.
Yeah.
And when you are physically connected to that person, what's released in your body?
It's called, and I don't mean to be a neuroscientist. I'm not a neuroscientist, but there's another chemical that's called oxytocin. And oxytocin is a bonding hormone.
Yeah.
It connects people. It's good for. When I was doing a little research, it talks
Wow.
about that it solidifies trust. So when you're intimate with somebody, you're at your most vulnerable state. So when you give yourself to somebody sexually, in that moment you feel safe. So that infatuation
You
is
feel
bonded even more.
connected.
You feel connected,
Yes.
and in a spiritual sense. And I think
Absolutely.
that connection, good here. Look,
Yes.
that connection is meant for marriage,
It
and that's
is.
what practically
It is,
speaking,
right?
in spiritual,
It
is.
is.
It is. However, 3% of people only practice abstinence before marriage.
Absolutely.
Only 3% withstand from marriage, but 90% of y'all getting down.
And listen,
And 90% of y'all gonna do it. Yeah, that's that
We-
famous word. Do it.
Do it.
Before, and I know some of y'all church folks on here because I got a lot of, I like to go to church. I love the Lord and all that. But this ain't for your religious talk. 97% of y'all is doing it.
listen.
90, so that you.
And listen, we
You
are
yeah.
guilty of it. And listen, it
absolutely.
is what it is. But I love what Victoria says. She
What
says
Let's check it
sex
out.
also can mix signals. You're thinking that it
Ooh-wee.
means you got your cursor over it. You're thinking that it means you're together, and the whole time he's thinking it's just sex, or vice
just
versa.
sex.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's a whole nother show, Victoria, because
is.
people often, especially women, think because we gave someone our bodies that means we together.
Right.
And it
Ooh-wee.
don't mean that. Like
Ooh-wee.
you just gave him you. That's it.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
it.
It's
He ain't
just
thinking
it's just
about-
booty to him.
It is.
It's just booty. There's
And
no
you all like, yeah,
emotional
that's my
connection.
husband, and he thinking like, girl, like
Right.
you really tripping. Like I ain't your husband. I don't even like you
Right,
like that.
right.
But you didn't gave it up, and you thinking that y'all
That's
together.
That's it. We
That's
together.
my boo.
Right.
We gonna go get this hotel. We gonna spend
Ooh-wee.
this time together. We gonna do this, do that, and you got all of these plans. And he thinking in the
No
back of his
emotion.
mind, I don't even feel you like that.
Right.
But
And-
I'm gonna go for the ride because you dumb.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got what we want. And the crazy thing about men is that men lie. I lied. Men lie to get what we want. Men like sexual relation, i.e., booty. That's what men want. And a lot of times when we deepen that relationships through sex, you don't get the signals. Like, he texts you the first 3 days, he got some, he didn't text you the next day.
He straight ghost you.
And you like, I don't know what happened. What happened is that the brother got what he wanted.
already got what he
now he
wanted.
bounced. Or he'll keep getting what he want. But look, he can't even take you to, like they say, the barbecue.
Yeah.
Then
he's not
and then
going
he
to
say
take you to the barbecue.
he keep hitting it, and I'm gonna keep it real. But then say, yeah, we won, but there's no signs of it on Facebook.
None.
At all, on Twitter, on Instagram. But he want the benefits. So ladies, you gotta
And
wake up, and men,
oftentimes-
we gotta wake
And
up, right?
oftentimes we keep giving it to them
Yeah.
in hopes, right?
Right.
In hopes
In
that
hopes.
it convinces
Oh,
him
no.
or it pulls him along to choose
Right.
me, right?
Right.
Oftentimes that's what we do as women. We're going to keep giving of ourselves because we feel like that's going to compel him.
Right.
That ain't going to compel him.
Right.
He can get ass, excuse me,
No, it's real talk. This is
from
real talk.
anywhere.
Absolutely.
Like nothing special about yours. Like it's not. It's free. It's all around the world. Like let's just be real. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
absolutely.
Sex isn't going to keep
Right, it's not. It
anybody.
just deepen the roots of infatuation.
Absolutely.
And we always say this, babe, all the time. And if you're dating, I hope you're taking heed. I hope you're listening to this, because just because you go with him doesn't mean he goes with you
It does not mean he goes with you. honey.
at all, right?
It
I
don't.
see a lot of women think that they're in a monogamous relationship, but they haven't even had that conversation with the guy that they're dating. You go with this brother, but the brother don't go with you yet, right?
And you out here calling him like your husband and stuff. Like he not your husband, boo boo. He not even your
That's right, Dave.
boyfriend. Like he not even your boyfriend. Y'all,
Yeah.
we haven't even had the conversation. Like
Right.
seriously, like Do we go together? Because I
Right.
I need to know that right now.
Yeah,
Like,
right
it's
now.
an immediate conversation.
Yeah.
If we doing X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
we either go together or we done. Like,
right,
it's either, it's
right.
like either one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can't have half of me and not have all of me. I'm only giving you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And women, we have to have that conversation because we can't think because we lied in his
And
bed.
right.
you
And
know.
we're infatuated, and it deepens, and we have hope.
Right.
You know, and I don't want to
One-way
imply
dating, yes.
that that's what all men want. That's their motive. But a lot of men, and it's biological. You know, we are stimulated by what we see.
Yeah.
And men, the number one need of a man is sexual relations. So we're stimulated by. That's why. You know, a man. You know, unfortunately, when a man see a beautiful woman, he's very tempted. Every man.
Yeah.
To look. You know, and we know we've had this conversation. Like, just don't look too hard. We understand you see the beautiful woman,
Right.
but don't you turn around and stare at this lady's booty,
Right,
Because
right,
it's
right.
disrespectful.
'Cause it's disrespectful,
However,
right?
men and my wife, ladies, you see a nice butt or a nice body, right? Men, we see nice looking men, no pun intended, because a brother is heterosexual and straight. So get that right. Well, why did I say that? People that say that, they really ain't.
What did you say?
Anyway, I digress.
concerned.
Anyhow, I hate
concerned.
to, you got to throw that out there. I'm a real man. What do I have to prove?
What?
No, but it's a joke. However, you know, we're stimulated by what we see.
Right.
You know, and men, we like sexual. You ladies, of course you want it too. You love it too. However, that's our hunger. You know, that's
Right.
our number one. You know, they said men think of a sex every 12 minutes or something crazy, but the it's staggering how much men think about sex.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Right. So all men aren't dogs, or
No.
they're looking, or
No,
their intentions are to
absolutely.
get you. But a lot of men,
Dave said he never seen big butts.
you never see, right?
Now,
a lot
Steve
of
better
men,
not have ever seen one either.
no,
Dave.
just that booty.
He might get he might not wake up. If
Right. No,
He's seen another one.
but you know, we have to and think about the stats, baby. Don't you? When you're doing a little research about like sex or whatever,
Yes. So according to Men's Health magazine, 51% of people said they waited a few weeks before having sex, right?
right?
Then 38% said they had sex either on the first date or within the first couple of weeks. However, 11% of people confessed that they had sex before they ever even went on a date.
Yeah, and a lot of people have. I know y'all want to act all Christian and all that right now,
Listen.
but this infatuation or the lack of self-control is not prejudice. It does not judge.
It doesn't.
It can happen to the best of us. We talk
Absolutely.
that trash and talk that garbage, but when you're physically aroused, or if you're legitimately attracted to someone, or you're infatuated, sometimes your emotions do overtake you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, and a lot of people, especially women, I can't speak for women, but from observation and from my experiences with women, or even through conversations, you know, a lot of women, they want to be held. They want to, is almost like connected to love,
Yeah, I think that's
you
what
know,
it is.
or closeness.
Because everybody
you know?
wants to feel loved,
Right,
right? Everybody
right.
wants to feel loved. Everybody wants to feel wanted. And so when you're in that infatuation stage, you feel all of those immense
That's right, June.
emotions. Like
Yeah.
you feel those things.
Right.
And the problem is you get stuck there and
Right.
the relationship never evolves into anything else because it's a lack of commitment, it's a
Right.
lack of friendship, it's a lack of relationship, it's a lack of emotional intimacy, it's
Right.
a lack of
Yeah.
so many valuable things that are necessary and vital to a relationship.
Sustainable relationship.
Yes, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? That we don't even consider those things because we are just caught in the euphoria of having someone.
Right.
It's pleasurable. I can lay next to someone.
Right.
It's pleasurable.
Especially for
You
women.
know, exactly.
Well, mainly for women.
Mhm. I can ride in the car and hold
Mm-hmm.
hands with someone. Like we never know how deep certain things are with
Right.
people. Like certain people like, oh, you know, I always wanted to hold hands
Mm-hmm.
when, you know, when we driving in the car. And now you got somebody and he held your hand and you like, oh
Right.
my God.
He's
like
saying
this-
the right things because women are stimulated by what they hear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not women aren't, you ladies aren't, and this is through research, not by my own
Right.
assessment, but women, that's why you can see, you see a lot of women, she can be beautiful, but the guy, he can be a little busted.
Right.
Because it's not about the physicality or the physical appearance of a man. Although women love good look. You like good look, because I look good.
Because you do.
I'm fine as freaking wine, right?
Because you do.
Anyway, no, but seriously, it's different from men, and what what I have noticed too, babe, or discern, is that women want to be claimed. And when people are intimate and connected with a man, they feel like there's some level of them being claimed and being loved and being wanted. And I always say
That's
this,
so
that
good, honey.
every woman need to be wanted and every man want to be needed.
That's
And that's a
like,
fact.
So good.
So when we're physical with you and we say, baby, think about it. And to prove my theory, like if a woman love to hear this, look, baby, I want you. I want you. She want to be claimed. Girl, all I want is you. You know what I'm saying?
you do.
But you can say to a man, hey, I want you. I want you. He's like, but guess what? Get your own job, get your own career, and say, excuse my French, nigga, I don't need you. Ego, boop, boop, boop. Because every man wants to be needed.
Yeah, true.
And every woman wants to need to be wanted.
Wanted,
So I think
absolutely.
that's a form of wanting you. And some people just like the bone.
But that's childish. That's childish,
I mean,
right?
if you want to keep
it's
it
true, but
everybody
it is
likes
childish.
sex. You know?
Everybody does, and
Right.
I 100% agree with that. Like everybody does. I just think as women, we got to guard ourselves a little
Yes.
bit more. We got to guard our bodies a little bit more, and we got to understand that everybody isn't deserving, of my box.
Right.
Everybody shouldn't know.
Got that ice box.
Everybody shouldn't know what's underneath there. Everybody shouldn't be
Yeah.
privy to, you know what I'm saying? To
Right.
having a piece of you.
Right.
Like, guard yourselves. You know what I mean? Like,
Because
really.
we just throw our things away.
Yeah, men do. They are throwing like little hyenas.
What you want? What you want to do with
Throwing
it?
it out there to
I mean,
anybody.
yeah.
And the problem is with society right now is women think that that's okay. Like they can
Right.
take on that masculine approach
Right,
to relationships, and then they wonder why they keep getting their hearts broken and why they keep getting what they're getting, because you're approaching it like you some bugged out man, and you not.
Right,
like
right.
you want to feel loved, you want to
Yeah,
feel
absolutely.
embraced, you want to feel held, you want to feel sensual.
And you should be loved. You should be held. You are
Absolutely.
extremely valuable, but you got to find that
but
value
when you
in yourself, right?
but when you embrace the world as a pit bull and you wondering why nobody wants to pet you, you know what I'm saying?
Throw that D, Dave.
No, and you wondering why nobody wants to pet you. You want to be held like a lap dog, but you vicious. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
right.
And yet we think that that's okay.
Right.
Like you're only going to attract as a pit bull other pit bulls.
And you're gonna keep getting what you're getting.
Right.
And that's
you might
why.
attract a Rottweiler, but he
Right.
gonna be aggressive too.
Yeah.
And so I think that as women, we got to be a little bit more guarded
Mm-hmm.
in who we allow into those personal
Panties.
spaces.
Panties.
And no, that's true.
It is absolutely true.
It ain't-
and why? And,
you
and
laughing, but it's
hey,
true.
It's crazy because it might seem unfair, but that's just how our systems are set
but
up.
it
because
is.
people, women can say like, like men do it, I can do it too. No, you can't. Why? Because I don't want to say morally, because all of it could be deemed as immoral
Mm-hmm.
to a point. However, the stereotype, the psychology, and culture, in our culture and customs, it is defined differently when a woman does it.
Absolutely.
And that's just how it goes. It's unfair, but it's unfair. Like for a man, for instance, we have expectations, or we have standards or things that we feel that a man, or rules or principles that a man should live by. Like a man need to go out and work.
Right.
A man shouldn't be at the house taking care of the kids.
Right.
And unfortunately, if a man is taking care of the kids and the woman is making the bread, 95% of America is going to look down on that man.
Right.
Is it
agree.
wrong? I don't know. I'm not one to judge.
Right.
Because maybe he is great with the kids.
Right.
Maybe she is a career woman. Maybe he doesn't have an education or can't financially support the home, so
Right.
she goes out. Is it fair? I can't say. But
Right.
when you think about society, they're looking at him as like a deadbeat.
Right.
He doesn't work. She works. he's a deadbeat.
No,
Why
that's
would you want that
true.
man?
That's
And the
true.
same goes with women. There are certain just standards, if you will, a
Right.
part of our customs to where we consciously or unconsciously judge. So therefore, women, you can't do what men do. I know y'all don't want to hear this, but it's the reality.
But it is the
because
reality.
if a man sleep with somebody, it's bad. If he's dogging women out, he's considered to be a boss.
Mm-hmm.
It's corrupt culturally, but it's bad. It's not right. However, if the woman does the same, it's justified. If a man, he's cool. He got a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman does it, you a hoe. Nobody wants you. I'm not bringing you home to mama.
Right.
You dirty. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
But it is true.
Right?
It is true. And you hate to see it that way, but it is the truth. And as women, like, we shouldn't want to just give ourselves to every time Dick and Harry. It's just
But
not
what do you
o-
do when you're burning in your flesh? When you're serving, pop goes the weed go. What do you do? Because we are human
Listen.
beings that crave sexual relationship.
Yeah.
Not relationships. We do crave relationships, but people love sex.
Absolutely.
You know, and people get
Because
aroused.
it's amazing, and
Right.
it should be.
Right.
And you should enjoy
Right,
it.
so
You
how do
should
we?
love
What
it.
should we do? Because the root cause of all this is people rush
Yeah.
because of a lot of reasons. But we got to slow down.
Yeah.
So if you didn't learn anything from the night, you need to slow down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So don't rush to
Yeah.
get into bed with anybody. Don't rush to be infatuated with anybody.
Yep.
Look, you got to take your time to know who you're getting with and who you're getting in the bed with and all that good stuff. Right?
Mm-hmm. I agree with that 100%. 100%.
Right. So this is I think this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are getting something out of this, say nice. Put nice in the comment section.
Mm-hmm.
If you are liking this, put nice and give us some hearts.
And you know,
Yes.
listen, Barkeita said, I don't put myself in those positions. Listen,
That's good.
it's like, you know, as women, we try not to put ourselves in those positions, right? And then sometimes you get put in the position, right? Because somebody might be feeding you what you want to hear,
Right.
you know, and you allow yourself and your mind
nice,
to
nice,
go
nice.
there, right? Because somebody has listened to you. Somebody is pulling those heartstrings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody is manipulating you, and you're falling for it. Not every time, it ain't always like that.
Right.
Some of us is just a little slow.
Yeah.
And we don't see red flags.
Yeah, and that's
we just
unfortunate.
be like, I'm going head first. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
dive off the cliff because love is in the air. And it'd be like, sis, that's not love. He gonna kill you.
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah.
you'd be like, but we don't see that. And it's sad because sometimes, like Steve said, sometimes we make the choice and sometimes it's by chance.
Right.
However, I feel like a lot of times it is by choice because we allow ourselves, we continue to do things
Right.
that we know are not beneficial.
Yeah.
Because the question is, how come I keep getting what I'm getting?
Right.
You're
going through the
choosing
cycle.
to. Like,
That's
it's
what insanity.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead. That was good.
No, no, you're doing your thing, babe. I don't want to mess up your shine,
Shut
baby.
up,
You
boy.
spitting that
Shut up, boy.
That no, you are. This is
Hey,
it's
Renee.
very good, and hopefully you guys are
Keisha.
getting something from this. But for those that are just now getting here, we're talking about why do you keep getting what you're getting?
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing we talked about the law of attraction and how it is real, it's biblical, and it's practical
Mm-hmm.
to where because thoughts are things. Your thoughts will determine your actions. Your actions will determine your outcomes.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the things that we meditate on the most, you know, if it's women, this type of person, or sex, a lot of times we will attract that into our lives. And it's scriptural, is practical, is the whole, it's science. You know, so we can't get away with it. And we talked about infatuation, and now we're talking about sexual intercourse, which infatuation actually deepens when you have sex with somebody and you are blind. When you have sex with somebody, you are so irrational. And check this out. We're speaking as married folks, but we are all guilty. You know, some of those people that talk like like they never, man, come on, man. What were you doing before you got your lady?
Yeah.
What were you doing before you were married? Don't play me.
Yeah.
You know, like they say, I was born at night, but not last night.
Right.
We all got to be honest, and people actually are transformed and they overcome by our honesty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of times we put ourselves, like our marriages, like everything is just amazing. We started off, we were in church and we just heard the Spirit of God and he's, you know, and all this. No, we was having sex.
We was having sex.
You know, and that's
What it
unfortunate.
was. We was out here having sex.
We've done a lot of, you know, we've made mistakes, or we've done things according to our flesh and our desires, and we lacked self-control. So we got to keep it real.
Absolutely.
And the majority of the people here, you are doing those same
majority of the
things.
world.
But you have to practice self-discipline so you will not continue to get what you keep getting.
And it's
right?
not like, okay, you can practice self-discipline, right? But we all fail, right? We
Right.
all fall short. We all fall short. That's
Yeah,
not an
yeah,
excuse.
absolutely.
It's just the truth. We
Yeah.
all fall short. But we're not talking about falling short. We're talking about continually
Yes.
doing the same thing
Right.
over and over and over again.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? What you do as a grown-up is your business. But if you keep being concerned about why I don't have nobody, why my relationships keep being like this, why I keep getting treated like this, how come people keep doing me wrong? And it's like,
Right.
how do you keep putting yourself out there?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we got to examine ourselves. Because it's not everybody else. Sometimes it really is just us.
It is.
Like,
It is.
we have to fix ourselves.
Yes.
We keep buying fixer-uppers. You know what I'm saying? We keep getting these charity cases. If he can't afford to pay his bills, put some gas in his car, pay his cell phone bill, how in the world will he ever be, not ever, but how in the world is he in a position to be with you?
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
But then we play victim. That's
But
the
then
thing.
we play
That's the
victim.
bad part. We make decisions.
Like, he just used me. Like,
Yes.
he ain't use you, sis.
Yeah.
He did not use you.
That's right.
You allowed yourself
Yes.
to
There we
go
go.
there with the person
Yes.
that you knew there was no future in because he can't even take care of himself.
Right. And where did this all come from? From the law of attraction, from you practicing the principles of what a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Yeah.
If a man think that he can or he can't, he is right. What you think will determine your actions, and your actions will determine your outcomes. Success leaves clues, but failure does as well.
Yes, failure leaves
So
even more
we got to really
clues.
think about the patterns, because a lot of people play victim, and a lot of times it's not even a chance that it didn't work. You're just choosing wrongly.
Yeah.
Why
Like,
are you
it wasn't a
choosing?
chance from the beginning.
Yes.
Like, there was no chance
Right.
from the beginning. And sometimes I think we don't take responsibility for
Right.
putting ourselves in situations that we know
Right.
aren't going to work.
Yeah.
Because we got this little inkling of hope. It's just
Yeah.
he ain't showing you an inkling of hope. She not showing you an inkling of hope. Something in your mind like, this could be it. You
Right.
know, and it's like, no, it's not. You
Right.
can see it from a mile away. It's not gonna be it. But here we go, going
Yeah.
with the
No,
motions.
here we go again.
Here we go again, going
Here we
with
go
the motions.
again and again. And maybe
He
it's,
can't pay
maybe
for
it's-
dinner, or she can't, you know what I'm saying? She can't drive, you know, or this and that. And then here we are, you know, a month down the road, and our hearts are
No,
broken again.
5 years down the road with
Sometimes,
3
but-
or 4 kids.
Sometimes,
You know,
but
yeah.
sometimes you think about people that are like serial daters or serial
Yeah.
relationship people. Every time you see them, they in a whole new relationship, and we be like, you thinking to yourself, like, sis, you can't be serious. Like,
Right.
every 6 weeks, it's a new person.
Patterns leave. We are creatures of habit.
Yes.
And where does this come from? Why do we rush? What is causing us to make because a lot of people, and I hate to go back to this, but a lot of people, they are the victims, but they are victims based on the decisions that they make. Why are we making these decisions? Gentlemen,
we're
why are you
victims-
in love with a stripper?
Yes.
You know, she doesn't want to marry you.
We're
She's not
victims of
gonna be with you, right?
ourselves.
We're victim of ourselves and the decisions that we make.
Yep.
But the question is this, honey, why do people make these decisions? Because it's an inner game. A lot of women
That's good, baby.
and men have insecure issues.
Yep.
We have issues. We have self-confidence issues. We have levels of unworthiness that are ungodly. When I say ungodly, I'm not talking about religious, but I'm talking about thinking of yourself higher than what you should think high of yourself, not high as in God, but you should think that I'm valuable. You know, that I'm a catch. You know, I'm not gonna just take anything. You know, who cares if I missed it a few times? Who cares if I got married a couple times? Who cares if I have a few babies? I'm valuable. And a lot of times our low self-esteem, our lack of confidence causes us to jump into the bed with the devil, and not just one time, but over and over and over and over and over and over.
again.
This is for the people that
That's
keep on going in the same
insane.
cycle over and over and over and over and over again. You got to ask yourself, who's the common denominator?
Do you like pain? Like,
Who's the common denominator?
do
right?
we like pain? Listen,
Self-worth.
self-inflicted victims.
Yes, and self-worth issues. Absolutely. And Uncle Charlie said is lust. Absolutely.
It is. It's all
Yeah,
of those
yeah.
things. Because listen, come on, y'all. Like, you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, just with a different face. Every few weeks or every couple months, like it's
Right.
just a different face.
Yeah.
It's just a different person. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just keep doing it over and over and over again, knowing you're going to get the same results. Like, knowing
Right.
you're going to get the same results.
Yeah, but there's a other side to that coin. Some people have personal issues
Mm-hmm.
or self-confidence issues, or they just loose, and some people are just naive.
But
Some people, not women think he does not want you. You know, it's like this is real deep, because this is like, I see a lot of women making the same decisions or having the same results over and over and over again, and it's like, knock on the brain, like, are you dumb? Like, you see the same patterns. You got to do something different. But you're saying the same thing, but you're getting the same results. You're going through the same cycle.
I ain't
the
doing
same
that no more.
Pattern over and
6
over
weeks
and
later,
over and over and over
there
again.
we go again.
And like June said, boom, bam, it is foolishness.
It is.
And then we cry and we call
As
it.
if we the victim.
Yes, it's
Like, we the victims of our own insanity. We're not the victims of people doing us wrong. We are the victims of ourselves.
We are.
Because we continue to allow ourselves to be put in positions that we know don't have a good outcome.
right, and we continue to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So either you just don't care or you're dumb as hell.
Either one.
I mean, or you're naive.
You
or
one or the
something.
two, yeah.
And it's something's. I don't mean to be, but we might seem passionate about this, and I am, because I see so many people with these inflicted occurrences that's. And you're 50, you're 40, you're 30. It's like, you gotta wake up, ladies. Gentlemen, you gotta wake up. The stripper she's not gonna leave you. She's not gonna stop dancing.
Yeah.
You know, he's not gonna stop messing around with these women. Why do you keep on going back to him? You know, why you keep on being enticed or motivated
What's
by
enticing though? That's what I would love to know. What is the enticing factors that keep drawing you to those particular types of people? Like, what is the thing that's drawing you, that's luring you in? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I could have that conversation with someone and really have the dialogue, because I would love to truly know. Because a lot of times, because we are married, people will think, oh, well, you just judging me.
No,
Because
right.
you have
Absolutely not.
somebody. And it's not that.
No.
It's like, I want to see you happy.
Absolutely.
I want to see you win.
Yeah.
I want to see you blessed. I
Right.
want to see you loved and cared for and
Yes.
nurtured, and somebody that just adores you. I want to see those things happen
Right.
in your life, because you're deserving of them. But for whatever reason, you don't feel deserving of
Yeah,
them.
and that's
and
the
so you
root.
self-sabotage
Yeah.
yourself every single time.
Yeah.
My question is, why? What draws you to it?
Right.
What draws you to the baloney? Like, is it the smell? Like, what draws you to it? What makes you feel like this gonna be the one? Knowing it's the same thing you had last week in a
and
different
the pattern
package.
is obvious. Like the package is open. It's the same. It's twins. It's triplets. It's quadruplets.
Yes.
It's the same thing. And unfortunately, it is. It's probably a lot of different. Like, if you're not, are people really that naive? I mean, 'cause it's hard to believe that. To me, maybe because I don't know. Maybe thinker to some level, and I don't like getting hurt over and over again. Like they say, hurt me once, shame on me. Hurt me once, shame on you. Hurt me twice, what is it? Shame on me. You know, so I'm that type of person that I'm not gonna, if I see a pattern, I'm gonna say, hold on, this isn't right. But for some reason, especially women, they don't see.
Right.
And are they really naive, or are they just, they deal with unworthiness? Do they deal with such a low self-esteem issues to where they just accept it, or they just have wishful thinking? And it's hard. I'm not a psychologist, but I would really want to know, like, why do people continue? And it's not just the sex, because I know women, because he probably ain't even got good sex.
Right.
No, but I've seen women on
Like
the
at all.
initial contact with the person, they're in love.
And they in love.
It's
Oh my
like, what
God. Have you guys ever seen that? Like somebody just automatically in love with in love, like infatuated. They so in love. They just met the person, like, oh my God, like, girl, he can be the one.
Right.
Like you just met him like picking grapes at Kroger. Like
Right.
how do you get that? How do your mind even, I just don't understand.
Right.
The need to feel love, that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Right, but
It's-
why is that?
but
There's
why
even
is
deeper,
that need
you know,
so great,
yes.
right? Because we all want to feel love. We all do.
Absolutely.
It's a human emotion. We all want to feel love. We all want to feel wanted. We all want to
Absolutely.
feel connected.
Yeah.
But on the inside, something has made you feel so short or so small that the yearning of
right,
attention, of love, or whatever that may be. Because some people equate sex to love. It's the only
Right.
love that they've ever felt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what we have to get to. We got to get to the root of, and that's an individual thing, because it's not,
Yeah.
it's never the same for every person.
Right.
You know, what draws you to wanting to feel nuts in a hut, honey?
Mm-hmm.
What draws you to want to feel love like that so deeply that you just continue to inflict pain on yourself?
Right. And
You know, time after time after time again, because you want to be loved so badly.
Right. And Alicia said that many people haven't really learned to love themselves before expecting someone else to love them. Absolutely. A lot of people don't even know what love is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and they define love. They misconstrue, or they don't understand what love actually is.
Yeah.
You know, because love isn't a feeling, just a feeling. Although we feel those emotions, but love is an inner revelation. It's a decision.
It is.
It's beyond that. And
It
you
is
can't
way beyond
you can't
all of those
legitimately
things.
decide if you don't know anybody. That's why I don't believe in love at first sight. I just absolutely don't believe it. I think love is a process. I think that you choose it. Yes, you feel the euphoria.
Yeah.
Yes, you can feel the feeling.
Absolutely.
You can be infatuated, but love is love. You cannot just run into somebody and say, I'm in love. I don't believe that. That's just my idea. Because that seems immature to me. Because if you love them that deeply, why did you get a divorce after 30 days?
Right.
You know, of course there are more variables in that, but love is deeper than just, I'm in love, love at first sight. Nah, man, that's for the babies.
I agree.
If you 30 and 40, like, you know what, you better take your time.
You gotta take your time. And you
Yeah.
know what? Secure people do not mind taking their time.
Yeah.
They enjoy the process. They enjoy the process of dating.
Yeah.
They enjoy the process of being with someone,
Right.
even if it becomes a sexual relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Mature and secure individuals that are dating one another, they're okay with the relationship taking
Time.
it's time and
Allowing it to-
progressing
yes.
as it should.
But you have to be secure.
But you got to be secure and you
And-
got to be confident.
In order to be secure, you need to be self-confident.
You gotta be
And in order to be
self-confident.
self-confident, when you become self-confident, you have standards.
Yes.
And you have values. And a lot of times we give up things that we devalue.
Yeah.
We give up the punani. We give up the D. We give up our heart because we really don't
Value
value
it,
or
yeah.
we don't see the value in it. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So I want people that are checking us out here, you need to know that you're valuable, right?
And the crazy thing is if you don't see any value in yourself or any value in what you have to offer,
Yeah.
nobody
Right.
else is going to see it either.
And that's why he keeps running over you.
that is.
That's why she keeps dogging you out and she does not respect you.
That's true.
Because you don't really value your positioning.
Mm-hmm.
You don't value. A lot of times we don't have that foundation, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We don't have the mom or the dad to really affirm us
Yeah.
and to let us know how valuable we are. And consequently, we grow up looking for that love,
Yeah.
but we can't even consciously define what it is.
Right.
So we're still trying to figure out, is this love? Nope. I guess it was kind of love. Oh, he take care of me, but he beat me.
Yeah.
He loves me. You know,
Yeah. Or he buys me
and
things.
he buys me or yeah, she cooks for me, or yeah, she looks good. That's nah, it ain't. That
And
ain't
ladies,
love, right?
here's the thing: a man with money don't mind spending it.
Yeah.
So just because he buy you something, don't mean he loves you.
Yes.
It just means he don't mind spending $1.
yes,
That's
that's
it.
right. Know your worth, Mama Jackie. Absolutely.
Like that's it. Like,
Yeah.
and a lot of women, especially a lot of young women, they
Yeah.
feel like, girl, he bought me this. Like, and
right.
like, okay, like
Buy-
nobody
and here's
cares.
the thing. Get some confidence and buy your own.
And buy your own.
Buy your own. That's why you wanna. A lot of times women they wait for a man to complete them.
Mm-hmm.
No, you are standalone great like a Mercedes Benz.
So
You know,
man, don't buy
right?
stuff for your girl when you first get her. Don't buy stuff for her that she can't afford to buy for herself.
I mean,
'Cause-
yeah, hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Or you can if you guys want to do some coaching with us, some dating coaching, you can inbox us and we can help you out.
Don't buy stuff that she can't afford to buy for herself.
Yes, absolutely. And we have a few comments, babe, that I know we're behind, but lack of not having a father. You know what? We didn't
That
even read
is-
that, Shamir, but that was actually.
But that is exactly a lot of
Yes.
the times that's where it stemmed from. It's,
Yes.
and it's so sad. And
Right.
and men have to recognize how important it is for them to love on their daughters.
right.
Right.
Thanks, Tanya.
To love
Yeah.
the hell out of their daughters.
daddy and mama
because
issues is real.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are. You know, and it's not just daddy issues. A lot of women have mama issues as well.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
It's so true, and it's important for us to exemplify those things that we want our children to see. Like
Right,
be the
right.
relationship goals that we want our children to see, so that they can mimic.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They can mimic what they've seen, because that's what we do. You know, we mimic what we've seen. And sometimes, you know, we saw mama have a bad relationship. We saw mama bounce
Yeah.
from man to man. We saw mama accepting anything. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We saw papa being a Rolling Stone. We saw, you know, him coming in and out of the house, and you know, you might see him at the corner store talking to a woman, or you know what I'm saying? You saw unfaithfulness. You saw so many different things in life that we feel like it's okay
Right.
when someone does those things
normal.
to us. It's normal. It's
Yeah.
acceptable.
Yeah. It's our
You
standard.
know?
It's our standard.
Sadly, it is.
Yeah.
You know,
And we actually, a lot of people don't have one, and we let anything into our world.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess one of the main points, babe, about why are people getting what they're getting, is because they're doing it, they're allowing it,
yeah,
and that's a hard pill to swallow. But I've ran into a lot of women that want different things, but they're dishing. They want. They're doing the same thing, expecting a different result.
Mm-hmm.
But that's insanity if you do the same thing over and over again. So I want to encourage y'all, out there, you got to learn, you got to know your worth. You got to know your value. You can't rush. You got to slow down. Yeah, we want sex. Yeah, we like nice cars. Yeah, we like smart women and
Yeah.
big butts and a smile and all that. But we got to be mature enough and practice some self-control
yeah,
so that we won't get hurt and we won't see ourselves in these cycles.
Yeah.
And our children see, if you have children, they witness this cycle, and cycles beget cycles.
Yeah.
We reproduce. So it's important that we learn from our mistakes, right?
absolutely.
Right. So I want to encourage you all to do that.
Absolutely.
And just a few things, babe, before we get up out of here. But another one is desperation. A lot of people are desperate, and there are
Yeah.
many reasons why people are desperate. That biological clock.
I was just about to say
you know?
biological clock.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of us desperate.
Right.
We understand that, right? Because
Right.
especially when you got girlfriends that are moving on and you see their lives progressing,
Right.
and you got friends that have gotten married or engaged or having kids,
Right.
and then you see yourself and your life hasn't progressed, so you just
Yeah.
you desperate to do and be with the next person. Who's that next? You know what I'm saying? Who's the next person? Who's that
Yeah.
next catch? I'm gonna get him.
Right.
That next guy that come. I'm gonna really put it on him. I'm gonna really
Yeah.
and we become desperate, and out of desperation, we'll settle for anything.
Right. And it's like, and we get desperate.
They can,
even from the
June.
beginning.
They
you
really
know?
can.
What's that?
She said men can smell desperation. They
Absolutely.
do.
Oh, and vulnerability.
Because
Yeah, and we know what we can.
men are
and
hunters.
Women too. Well, I can
Absolutely.
run him over. And women discerning. They won't even
Listen,
date a man
boy.
like I'll run that fool over.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Listen,
we
boy,
see, we smell these things,
listen,
right?
because men are hunters.
Right.
They looking for prey.
With cheese on it.
You know, some women just happen to not be that prey, and they run into a good one, and they be like, "Oh, dang, this one right here a little different." You know what I'm saying? I think
Right.
I'm gonna rock with her.
Yeah.
But then you got them ones that they come across, and they be like, "Yo, you know, they telling their homeboys about her. She dumb. You know what I'm saying? She's
Yeah.
stupid as hell.
Right.
You know, I can get her for this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We can.
ooh-wee,
I
yeah.
can. Yo, homegirl, she dumb. You know what I'm saying? She do this, and that. She got this, and that. I'ma get her. Watch.
Right. Right.
You know, and in our desperation,
Yes.
we like, yeah, honey, you know, I can pay for the room. I can take us out to dinner. You can drive the car, you
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
know, and all the red flags are gone. you
Right.
know?
And Sharice said, you're absolutely right. You know, desperation is dangerous because you will make the wrong decisions.
Every time you will make the
Absolutely.
wrong decision.
Absolutely.
Every single time.
Absolutely.
And women, we so bullheaded sometimes.
Look, I want I want to get some
What
love
Crystal
right now.
say?
Look what
What she
Crystal said.
What'd she say?
Read it. Oh, you can't see it?
I can't see my eyes.
Mathis
are so blurry.
McCago, you guided me in making the right decision 11 years ago. Thanks, cuz. I knew I got on your nerves.
Listen, my cousin will be over every night like,
Mic drop.
cuz. My cousin be over every night like, cuz, you know what? She got so good, she came over with dinner, okay? She would be like, I made y'all something to eat today.
Right.
'Cause I'm coming over.
You know, but what's crazy about, and I want to give a shout out to the Adams.
Yeah.
And that's my cousin, Crystal and Devon. They've been married, what, 6 years?
11
11
years.
11 years?
Baby,
11?
yes.
I'm sorry.
It's been 11 years.
11 years, and she has the best husband. I mean,
I
one of
love
the
him.
greatest
I love
guys
him.
in the world. I mean,
appreciate
you
him.
can't meet a better guy. But it was crazy because Crystal, she had demands. She was like, look, what we doing?
That's right.
You know, Crystal actually learned from some of her mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, she
was
knew her
so
value
amazing.
and was like, look, bruh, what we doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what you trying to do? You
'Cause
know?
I ain't for no
Yeah,
games.
Absolutely.
We not about to play.
Absolutely.
Like either you want me or you don't. Cause let me tell you something. Cause I'm a good catch. Deuces. And,
That's
and
right
you
there
know
with
what?
the cheese on it.
Listen, Divine, thank you. Thank you for taking
Yes,
good
yes.
doggone care of
Yeah.
my cousin.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, absolutely.
Appreciate you.
And the ugly truth about marriage and relationships is that, of course, you choose,
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately, there's a chance that you won't make it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, there's a chance. If you think about statistics,
Mm-hmm.
50%, probably over 50% of people that get married, they get a divorce.
Yeah.
So of course there are a lot of disciplines, there are a lot of things that you have to do to sustain your relationship. However, some people are probably watching now and you might feel like maybe it is me, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes you didn't tell that man to go out and cheat.
Right.
You didn't tell
Of
that
course.
woman to be disrespectful or dishonor you or whatever the issue was or and a lot of times there is a chance that things happen, right? But we want to try to, when you get the knowledge and you slow down and you increase your self-confidence and self-value, you actually mitigate or lessen your chances of divorce
Yeah.
because you're more equipped
Yeah.
individually, and you also have the knowledge of who you're getting with and what you're getting into. So it's
Self-awareness,
easy. Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So, I want to encourage people out there, don't give up. You are not a failure. And if you felt like you've
That's
been through a
right.
cycle, change today.
Yeah.
Make better decisions today,
Yeah,
right?
That's good.
You
That's
know,
good stuff.
if you need somebody to tell you that you love, I'm telling you, you're loved.
Yeah.
You're valuable. You don't need a father to know that. I learned my value not by knowledge, but by what I did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that that's not the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And by me I didn't have a father in my life. My grandfather was there, but he was always old, and he's deceased.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a father in my life, but I learned through those that are spiritual. I learned through the scriptures, how I should be. And I learned by my failures, by going through a divorce when I was younger, by experiencing heartache, not just on that other person, but by me dishing out pain, by me doing things because I was broken, because I was hurt. But it's not about what happened. It's about what lessons did you learn
Right.
after
Right.
after the
Right.
sin was committed, or after the issue that you had, after the pain that you endured. Did you learn?
Yeah.
And
did
I
you
believe that I
grow?
learned. And did you grow?
Did you grow?
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and does it help you in your next relationship?
Right.
Because a lot of times we discount that, you know.
Right.
Because we've all made mistakes. We've all been there, and
Yeah.
nobody is standing here,
No, man.
standing, at the top of the mountain and screaming that we perfect or anything
Right.
like that. Because the reality is, we all fall. We all fell short. We've all had bad relationships.
Absolutely.
But the reality of it is, in order to create the life that you really truly desire, you're gonna have to level up.
Absolutely. You got to mature.
You gotta. You
know,
have to.
and a lot of people, I think I said that last week, people think that old breeds wisdom. No, old just
No,
means
it just
old
means
sometimes.
old.
You can be, I know some young men that can spit some game to you about relationships. Of course, I think that you need to live in a relationship a while before I'm not saying you can't teach principles, but until you
Have
are in
experience.
it, you can fully
Until you have
understand it and
experience, right.
actually convey it with conviction,
Right.
and actually give people advice to overcome it.
Right.
Because a lot of people, if you're not in it, you really don't know the pain.
Mm-hmm.
You really can't articulate it or really give the correct answers.
Right.
You can give principles, you can give knowledge, but it's different when it's coming from a place of experience.
It is. It's
right.
very
So it's
different,
good to
yeah.
have that experience. But speaking of experience, we want to give you guys a few tips before we leave. All right. So stay here for the tips. All right.
Okay.
Number one, check this out, guys.
you got, baby?
Number one, we need to learn how to raise the standard. Raise the standard. Look, you gotta raise the standard on your selection of men and women, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Raise the standard. And not only raise your standard,
Yes.
do a little homework.
Yes. Homework. Right.
Do a little homework.
Yes. Which we're gonna be doing something on dating too, baby. So I'm telling, we got so much coming up. But if you are single, we're gonna coach you guys through some things so that you won't continue to go through these cycles,
Right.
and you'll know how to date with a purpose, right?
Yes. And I say do your homework because we live in an information age, guys. You have everything.
Helen.
You got everything in your power. Like, you get on that iPad, get on that computer, Google them, get on the gram, figure out who they are, see
Yeah.
how they talk, see how they behave.
Yeah.
So
So if they got guns in their pictures, you probably don't
you
want to.
know, like-
That's probably not your spouse. You can't save them now. Stop trying
figure
to be
some
Mr.
things
Saver.
out, though. Like, figure some things out ahead of time.
Yeah.
So that you would know ahead of time if they are your standard
See, you're
or not.
thinking you're tactical. That's saved for our private groups.
You know
You're
what I'm
getting all
saying?
deep and tactical on
But
what
I'm
to
saying
do.
you'll know if
They
they're
don't pay. They ain't paying us for this type of knowledge.
you will know if they are according to your standard
Yes.
if you do your
do
homework.
your homework, right?
Do your research.
Right.
Instagram is public.
Public.
Facebook is public.
Yes.
Go on there and find out. Go on these little websites, these little dating sites, and see what their profile says if they have one up. Just trying to get into a little something,
Right.
or I'm looking for love. You know what I'm saying? Like, which
Right.
one? Like, do your homework, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Like, we have to do that part.
Absolutely. So you need to raise your standard, and the way you do that is by building your esteem.
Yes.
You got to know your worth. You got to know your
Yeah,
value.
you gotta know your
So if
value.
you don't know, if you have a level, a certain esteem level, or aspirations, or self-worthiness, or whatever it is, we all have levels,
Yes.
even in success.
Yes.
And they say that we go 10% under that or 10% above that,
Yes.
even in finances.
Even
So
yeah.
you got to raise that standard to know your value. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, you got to challenge your thoughts and your interests, because a lot of times we have subconscious, vain desires and interests. So we got to challenge what I desire, what I want. Is it sustainable?
Right.
Is it good for my future children?
Yes.
Is it good for my children now?
Is it good for me?
Is it good for me?
Is it good for me? Ladies, if all you want is that bad boy, you really like you really slim your chances
Yeah.
with finding somebody that is going to be like really beneficial to your life.
Absolutely.
You know, open up that pool. Like it's a big, huge, giant ocean out there, and yet you swimming in a kiddie pool.
Yeah.
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Talking about you ain't getting all the way wet. Like you ain't gonna get
Yeah.
wet, and you ain't gonna find nobody because you in this little kiddie pool. But it's a whole ocean out there with men that are amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
Men that think.
You're looking at one right now.
You know what I'm saying?
you know
Men
what
that
I'm
have
saying?
great perspective.
That's why
men
she got
that
me.
men that are knowledgeable. Men that have great foundation, like or great fundamental beliefs and
Right.
standards.
Right.
Like, and you will find that if you open up your mind to,
Right.
to think outside of that bad boy who just looked good,
Or that woman that looked good.
Or that woman that looked
vanity.
good, because that's-
challenge those thoughts.
those are all
interests or
vain.
the desires.
You know what I'm
right?
saying? Because we all want somebody to look good, but at the end of the day, none of that really matters if he look good, but he treats you like crap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? None of that really matters if she beautiful and she thick, but every time she open up her mouth,
No substance.
no
Empty
substance,
head, just a big
empty-headed,
booty and titties.
and disrespectful.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or nothing in her brain. You can't
she
even have an
cutting you
intellectual
down.
conversation with her. Then you like, why did I even get with her?
She tearing you down every opportunity she gets to speak. Like, so if you just open up
Yes.
your mind and open up your thought process
Challenge
on and think a little outside of the box. Hey, I'm looking for somebody who's going to love me,
Yes.
who's going to respect me, who's going to care for me,
Right.
who's going to honor me, who's going to put me first, who's going to care about this relationship, who's going to be a good father.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Preach
Who's going to
that.
be a good provider. Like, we have to think about those things, and we don't think about those things when we only looking at the outer
Right.
appearance.
Yeah, so we got to challenge those thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm sleepy, man. Look, these tacos hard. We got to start charging for this. If I'm gonna be sleepy like this on a Sunday. No, seriously, which brings us to number 3 is to revisit your values.
Yes.
And if you don't have any values, you need to create some values.
Yes.
The list of things that you desire.
Yep.
You know, that's why we got to raise that standard and challenge our thoughts, because if we only value a man with green eyes or a guy that only provides for us,
Yep.
or is that sustainable? How about you value respect?
Yes.
How about you value honor? How about you value somebody that's going to love you? You know, you value family, you value purpose, unity. You know, we got to look at our value levers. We got to
Yeah.
look at, revisit, what do we want? And challenge those things, because if you don't have them, write them down. Look, if you are single,
Yeah.
it's some homework. Write down what you value in
And-
a relationship. Not a big booty, man.
Oh, that's
not
so
sustainable,
dumb.
right?
That's so dumb.
It's nice to have, though.
And value the connections that you make with people, because it's not that often that we're going to make those genuine connections with people. So when you do make a genuine good connection with someone, value it.
Yes.
Because who knows the next time that will come around, right? So we have to seriously value that. We always talk about, valuing all of those other things, valuing like the guy that respects you and all those are, we better value those things, right?
Absolutely.
But value the person that you make that connection with, even if they don't look how you want them to look, even if they don't necessarily drive what you all into, because you may be materialistic,
Right.
even if they don't wear the brand of shoes you think a man should wear because that's what you used to.
Right.
Like, value the connection, the
Right.
authenticity of that connection.
Sustainable connections.
That you make with that person, because that is what will sustain you.
Yeah.
That's what will sustain a relationship.
Right.
Vanity will fade.
Right. Not a guy that makes 6 figures. That's good. You know,
That's
that'll help you.
great.
That's a
That's
wonderful
something that's
thing.
wonderful.
But that should be secondary, you know,
Yeah.
and that shouldn't be a primary focus. You want a man that aspire higher, you know, that's driven, you know, but a lot of times, you know, money is really the killer of a lot of relationships. So if you focus on money, a lot of times you will have some issues here.
Yes.
You're looking at a few comments. You see something that you want to put up? on here?
Damien said, y'all, we are invited to their wedding. Damien?
Don't
bro,
say that now. You're going to have to give me some gas money.
It's gonna
coming
be a
way out
date.
there,
It's
bro.
gonna be a date night affair, because we there.
I need a
We there.
hotel. I need some gas money.
We there.
Yeah, if I'm going to the country
Hey.
now, bro, you're gonna have to. We
Steve
way
can
in
even
Michigan now.
Steve
We're
can
4
even
hours away.
perform your wedding for you, bro.
Oh, that's gonna cost you. ain't it? That's gonna cost you, bro. You gonna have to cash at me, bro. You're gonna have to cash at me. But number 4, which brings us to what you just talked about, is to be open, right?
Yeah.
You got to be open.
We
You know,
have to be.
after we create a standard and we revisit our values, we want to be open
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to what I don't know what you believe in, but we believe in God. You know what God has for you. You don't have to. It could just be what you want, but be
Yeah.
open to different
Okay,
types
I
of men
will.
and personalities and stuff like that, right? Another one is you need to slow down, right? Slow down. We
slow
talked about that
down.
earlier. Do not rush. And a lot of people rush because of another thing that we want to do. Another point is you need to increase your self-worth.
Yeah.
A lot of people rush, but they need to slow down, and they rush because of self-esteem
Yeah.
issues, self-confidence issues, or
Yep.
being desperate and all those things like that. And the last thing that we want to present to you guys, a tip, is to go and try different things. Go to different places, because a lot of people get the same type of man because they go into the same bar.
They frequent the same bar.
or the
Like,
same a teacher. I'm not saying that all teachers are
you
the same.
frequent the same
Yes,
events
yes,
in the
church.
same 5-mile radius.
Right.
Like, you don't go anywhere and be like, oh, I ain't gonna never meet nobody. You right.
Right.
You not.
Oh, I wanna be the one to hold you close. 'Cause you're the only one I'm